So welcome guys, it's Andy and Wes here from D6 Evolution.
Hello!
And we've got a special review today. We have the new Iron Hands.
We certainly do.
I'm going to go right ahead and say, guys, I think this is the strongest codex GW have made yet.
That is a bold statement, Andy.
Yeah, it is. Well, we're going to take you through this whole book and I'm going to show you why it is just crazy powerful.
You're going to go through those competitive options?
We're going to go through not just the super competitive options, but the everything else which is only really competitive.
Let's have a look then, shall we?
Yeah. So let's dive straight in. Should we start with the one new unit?
Whoa, the Iron Father. This guy's pretty good, Andy.
He is super good. He, I think, is going to be in pretty much every competitive... Let's go ahead. Every Iron Hands army is going to be competitive, but he's going to be in pretty much every single one of them. Do you want to read out the stats?
Absolutely. So his basic stats is going to be movement 5, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 2. That's interesting. Strength 4, toughness 5, wounds 7, attacks 5, leadership 9, and with a 2+ save.
Does that come with an invulnerable save?
He does.
You'll have his 5 up, yeah?
5 up.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's go through the rest of it. So his weapons, he's got a bolt pistol, which is standard. He's got the Gorgon's Wrath, which is a 36-inch, heavy 3, strength 5, -2, 2 damage. Essentially a relic heavy bolter.
That's the one sticking on top of his backpack, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking, isn't it? It's a lovely model.
3 shots with a ballistic skill 2 up and 2 damage.
I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, not just $1. And then he's got a Harrow Hand, which is a melee weapon. It's +3 strength, so it makes it strength 7. It's quick math there. -2 and flat 2 damage. He's then got a servo arm, which is also melee. It's 2 times 2 strength, -2 with a flat 3 damage.
Yeah. So he gets to make, because he's got 2 servo arms. If you look through his profile, that means he can make 1 attack with each of the servo arms. He gets 6 attacks base, including the one for being a special space marine. Yeah. So then he gets 4 attacks with his other melee weapon as well.
Yeah, that's really nice, isn't it?
So he is pretty nice actually in terms of the character.
That's a lot of output, both in shooting and in assault there. So
yeah.
That alone makes him a really good character, I would say.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. But pray,
this is where it gets good. This is why he should be in every army.
Okay, so he has Angels of Death, which we've covered in the previous Space Marine Codex, which is a really nice bonus. But not only that, he has the Signum Array. At the start of your shooting phase, you can select 1 Iron Hands unit within 3 inches of this model. The models in the selected unit have a ballistic skill characteristic of 2+ until the end of the phase.
So good. You can put it on like a Leviathan Dreadnought or a Fire Raptor, anything. It's not just a weapon, it's the entire unit.
Any unit as well, yeah. So
there's a whole lot of aggressors.
You plain be good at shooting.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it? So that makes
what's the range on that? Is that 6, is it?
3 inches. Any models within 3 inches.
Okay, so he's got to be hugging them basically, like giving them a back rub, going, "God, you can shoot better.
You can do it, boys." Yeah. So the next thing is got Master of the Forge. The Master of the Forge, when this model repairs a vehicle using the blessings of the Omniscient ability, that vehicle regains 3 lost wounds instead of up to D3.
So that's actually really good. The reason why it's good, and we'll briefly touch on this now, is that for 1 CP you can do it twice.
So, Mr. Leviathan, you've just lost 5 wounds. Oh. Have 6 back.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the ability to give something back 6 wounds a turn.
Yeah.
Does he have to roll for it? He'll be down there in that bit.
No, so the Blessing Omniscient, at the end of your movement phase, this model can repair 1 friendly Iron Hands vehicle within 1 inch of it. The model regains D3 lost wounds.
Okay, so the roll was a D3, but that's just been removed from maxing out a 3.
Yeah,
so he does that twice, yeah. And it specifically says you can do it to the same model as well with this stratagem, which we'll go through later.
That's pretty good.
So already he's gone from like being pretty good in combat. He's got 7 wounds. He's got a 2+ save. He can make stuff really shoot well. He can repair stuff, but that's not it.
No.
He
can make the other guys shoot really well, and he goes, "Have some wounds back, Mr. Vehicle." That's pretty neat.
That's good.
Continue the next bit.
Yeah.
You have Artificer Bionics. When this model loses a wound, roll a d6, and on a 5+, it's not lost.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, it's alright.
I'll deal with that. Rites of Tempering. This is pretty gnarly. Models in a friendly Iron Hands units have a 5+ invulnerable save within 6 inches of this model.
Yeah. So it says specifically, it says units, doesn't it? Models in units within.
Not infantry, not vehicles, not models. Units.
Yeah. So most things when they give an invulnerable save, it's to models. It's to models rather than the entire unit. Isn't it? And that specifically says it's to the unit. So models in a unit which are within 6 inches.
That's really good.
And it's 6-inch bubble of 5+ invulnerable save.
So Azrael had something very similar before, but it was really just for infantry and bikers in the end.
Yeah, and it got changed to models as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah.
So already you're getting a vehicle who's now getting an invulnerable save, and he hits on 2s, and he gets 6 wounds back a turn. Oh yeah,
I think this guy's a take.
yeah. This is only the start of the craziness, which is Iron Hands.
I think we should ask at this point, how many points do you think that guy's worth?
Yeah, I think anything under 200 would be criminal.
We'll get back to that one later. To move next. Oh, so and that's all his rules. Okay.
He doesn't get anything else.
Nothing else. No. He tops out just about there.
So his Warlord trait's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Should we touch on that now?
Yeah, I think so, because he's got a fixed Warlord trait because he's a unique character. You can only take one of these, by the way.
Okay, so his Warlord trait is the 4th of the 6. It's Student of History. When this model consolidates, they move 6 inches instead of 3, and they do not have to move towards the closest enemy unit.
When he consolidates, yeah?
Yes.
So this is really nice because you can drop yourself out of combat.
Yes.
And before... Is it when he consolidates?
Yeah.
Oh! Do you know what I just thought of?
Mm-hmm.
You run in, you punch something, then you run away.
Oh, you love that move.
No, but literally,
Yeah,
you run in, you charge something, you punch them, you kill a bunch of stuff, then you just step outside of an inch. And they can't actually... Because they haven't charged, the other models haven't charged, they can't physically attack you back.
It's a fancy hit and run, isn't it?
They don't even get to strike you back. You could just run in and whack a knight and then just walk backwards.
Yeah, because the order of action. That's really good.
I don't think someone thought that through. That's just... Because you don't have to go towards anything.
No, that's
bonkers.
That's really good.
I mean, before I was like, oh, you could just fall out of combat, that's really nice. I didn't realise you could do it.
Yeah.
Because you charge, you'll go first, and then you just step away.
Yeah.
Because models that didn't charge can only activate if they're within an inch.
Yeah. And even if you were charged, you could then pay the 2 CPs to actually activate him early if you did want to get him out of the way.
Yeah, you just run away.
Yeah, that's really good.
That does.
Yeah.
Should we give away his points cost?
Julie, you go for it. You go for it. It's probably already on the internet anyway right now.
110 points.
110.
Including war gear.
Can I take 3? That guy's amazing, isn't he? Not only is it a fantastic looking model, he's got some great base stats just as a unit himself, and brings out some fantastic bonuses to the rest of the army.
Yeah, I mean, he's a combat monster, a buff monster, a janky little crazy thing who could just step in out of combat. It is utterly bonkers, and you will never kill him. Do you know why you'll never kill him?
What is that?
We'll touch on this later, but essentially, imagine he's got Tau shield drones all around him. And we're not kidding on that.
Yes.
We'll come back to that later, but you ain't killing him.
Right, should we move on?
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk about the Sons of the Gorgon. So they've got their calculated fury. So if you take an entire Space Marine detachment, which is then subsequently entirely Iron Hands, you get an additional bonus. And this is it. While the Devastator Doctrine is active, models with this ability do not suffer the penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons. In addition, whilst the Devastator Doctrine is active, when they resolve their attacks made with heavy weapons by a model with this ability, you can re-roll ones to hit.
So, it's okay. The great thing here is that it's kind of... You don't feel like you need it. Like, I read that, I was like, I can live without that.
Yeah.
So immediately you're thinking, right, what other detachments can I bring in here to make this better? Because you're not feeling like you have to take pure Iron Hands. They're already broken enough. You don't need that extra reroll ones. Because let's be realistic, your Space Marines, you've got loads of reroll ones auras.
Yeah, this is true.
And I think, when we're going through this book, the realistic thing you're going to be doing is be taking a Space Marine captain of some sort, because Space Marine captains are awesome anyway. You're going to pay 2 CP at the start of the game from the basic Space Marine stratagems book, and you're going to give him the awesome reroll, not just failed hits, but all hits aura. So you don't need this reroll ones. I mean, yeah, you can spread your units out if you really want, but I don't see it. Not with all the buffs. This army is about the buffs that you get. So I don't see there's a need for that.
I think it's nice. I think it's nice. I think the ability to not suffer the penalties for moving and shooting heavy weapons.
Don't get me wrong. It's okay, but I don't feel like it's needed.
Oh no, not at all. And all these buffs are generally. It's just a nice little additional one for going pure.
Yeah.
Army.
What is quite nice is Devi Doctrine starts first, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So you actually get it from turn 1, rather than the poor old White Scars, where I think the Assault Doctrine's turn 3. So they don't get the buff for 3 turns.
And you can really maximise your army to make benefit this way if you're having lots of units that are heavy weapons, and then you will never have to actually move off the Devastator Doctrine, really.
Yeah.
And you have you moving and shooting heavy weapons that aren't suffering that penalty to hit.
Yeah. And just before we go on, the generic chapter tactic for Iron Hands, do you want to go through that?
Yep, I can do that.
But from memory, it is you get 6 up, feel no pain for everything in the book. You get you Overwatch on 5s and 6s, which is so strong. And was there anything else in it?
When a model of this tactic loses a wound on a roll of the d6, that wound is not lost. When resolving Overwatch, they hit on 5s and 6s. In addition, models with this tactic that have a damage table are considered to have double the number of wounds remaining for the purposes of determining what row they use on the damage table.
And that's really good. I mean, if we take the Leviathan Dreadnought, which we're going to come back to a lot because this is one of the top units in Space Marines right now, it goes on to its... Essentially, it will be on its top bracket until it goes on to 3 wounds.
Yeah. By which point, you'll give it some extra wounds back.
Yeah, it'll go back onto its top bracket anyway.
Yep.
So, I mean, because this whole army revolves around vehicles, it's going to be... That in itself is a really nice buff. It's a triple buff there.
Yeah.
As you're going to find, you can modify each one of those, well, particularly 2 parts of those buffs by themselves as well to make them super strong as well.
Yeah, there's some really solid buffs in here, especially for dreadnoughts and vehicles.
Yeah. Should we go through the stratagems next? Because I think the stratagems are where everything really comes alive for the Iron Hands, and then we're going to touch on the Warlord traits and in particular some of the relics, which you've probably already seen already. But I think the stratagems are where this book really comes alive, and that's where you're going to see how the Warlord traits and the relics fit into it.
Great.
So we're just going to go through these in order?
Yep.
Okay, well, let's take it away with the stratagems.
Okay, so bear with me. I'm not that good at English, and this is a lot of reading to do, so let's go into it. Okay, the first one, which is Mercy's Weakness, it's 1 command point. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase or the fight phase when an Iron Hands unit from your army is chosen to shoot with or fight with. Select 1 enemy unit. Until the end of that phase, every attack made by a model in that Iron Hands unit from your army that can target the selected unit must do so. When they resolving such attacks, an unmodified wound roll of the 6 that target that unit scores 2 instead of 1, essentially.
So that's really good. I'll tell you why it's really good. It's one of the top units in the whole codex is aggressors, isn't it? So if you put 6 aggressors, I think on average that's 110 shots.
Yes.
That's a lot of shots. And if you're getting 6s to wound, do an extra wound, that's amazing, because most things, there's a strength 4, they're going to be shooting toughness 4.
Yeah.
That means you're getting 33% extra wounds.
Which is crazy.
For 1 command point.
Yeah.
And with that many shots, you're getting a lot of extra wounds.
Yes. Yes, you are.
And that's even, the maths even skews even better if you're shooting at higher toughness, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's, I think first when I read it, I was like, yeah, it's not so good. But when you factor in some units with high volumes of fire, it's really good.
Yeah, for low rate guys, it's not really worth it, I don't think. But
No,
yeah,
or things which are high strength, it's like,
Yeah.
you don't really care. But aggressors, a big unit of aggressors, which I think is one of the strongest units in the book.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah, it's really good. I like that. Okay, next one. 1 CP, Methodical Firepower. Use this stratagem at the start of your movement phase. If the Devastated Doctrine is not active, select 1 Iron Hands unit from your army. Until the start of your next movement phase, when resolving attacks made by the models in that unit, the Devastated Doctrine is treated as being treated as being active in addition to the currently active doctrine.
I mean, it's good if you need your Devi Doctrine because you've got heavy weapons, you want to move them, or you just want the extra AP on it. It's great.
Yeah, and you're still gaining the benefit for the current doctrine as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's really nice, and the Devastated Doctrine's where the Iron Hands are going to live, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Between that and the tactical.
Yeah. So next one is 1 CP. It's March of the Ancients. Use this stratagem before the battle. After nominating a model as your Warlord, select 1 Iron Hands Dreadnought from your army. That model gains a character keyword. Add 1 additional attacks and leadership characteristic to that model.
So initially, I thought this was broken. I thought this was crazy.
Yeah.
Making a Dreadnought, which is already the super strong thing, making that a character and being able to take relics and warlord traits would have been bonkers. But unfortunately, Dreadnoughts in Codex Space Marines and Iron Hands cannot take relics, or in fact, any vehicles just can't take relics or warlord traits.
I got quite excited about it initially. Yeah, but unfortunately, you can't.
No. But what it is good for, and I think it's just a situational thing, is you can use the whole look out sir, shield drone things, which we're going to come on to later.
Yeah.
So it definitely still has some play in it, but it doesn't have that much play. And if you want to do some janky heroic interventions with your dreadnoughts and vehicles and stuff, that's fine. Well, it's got to be just dreadnoughts, isn't it?
Yeah. So you can maybe use that warlord trait actually that allows you to consolidate away.
You can't take warlord traits.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Just imagine running in with your close combat dreadnought and then backing off.
Yeah, that would be gnarly.
No, that'd be utterly stupid.
Yes.
So,
do you move on to the next one?
Yeah. I know what you're thinking. They can't all be powerful.
Okay, so next one is 1 command point. It's Vengeance for Istvan 5. There's some fluff there. It's when
I didn't read it actually,
Okay.
but Alice read it.
Okay, good.
She told me what happened.
No spoilers. No spoilers. No point in losing your head over it. Anyway, so
It ended well, right?
for some people,
Yeah.
use this strategy in the fight phase when an Iron Hands unit from your army is chosen to fight with. Until the end of that phase, when resolving an attack made with a melee weapon by a model in that unit against a Word Bearers, Iron Warriors, Night Lords, or Alpha Legion unit, you can re-roll hits.
It's alright.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I mean, Alpha Legion does come up quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next one now. 2 CPs, Wrathful Machine Spirit. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase or fight phase when an Iron Hands vehicle model from your army is chosen to shoot or fight with. Until the end of that phase, when resolving attacks made by that model, you can re-roll the hit roll.
Don't get me wrong, guys. It's good.
It is good.
But it costs the same amount as upgrading a captain to a chapter master.
To get the same thing
For the entire game, yeah. Situationally, obviously it's all hits as well rather than missed hits. So, I mean, it's good.
If you need that edge to shoot down a fly and you're out of position a little bit, then it's something to go for.
I wouldn't see myself taking that every game.
No.
I'd be taking a captain and upgrading them.
Yeah, absolutely. So next one, 1 CP, Souls of Iron. Use this stratagem in your opponent's psychic phase. When an enemy psychic model manifests a psychic power within 24 inches of an Iron Hands unit from your army. After any Deny the Witches attempt,
Oh, it's so freaking good.
roll 1d6, and on a 4, that psychic power is resisted.
It's so good. I mean, this stratagem has been around in various forms since pretty much the start of the edition. Like Black Templars have had it, Sisters have had it. What do you call it? World Eaters have had it as well. And I've used every single one of those armies for those specific reasons, having a detachment just for that one stratagem. So on top of everything else, which is crazy in this book, you have the ability to completely shut down one power.
Yeah.
Because you can re-roll that dice. It's a 4 up, re-roll it. you got a 75% chance of whatever the math really is on that.
And you still get to do your
You get your Deny Witch, yeah.
Yeah. So if you fail your Deny Witch, you go, yeah, I really want this to not go off. 1 CP, 4+ with a potential reroll. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I think that is in there for one of the best stratagems in this book.
Yeah, that's really good.
And it just helps you interact in a phase which you may not be that strong in.
Yeah.
It's massive. 24 inches from any model in your army.
Yeah.
Like normally you just have to go, oh, I better just make sure I'm outside of that psyker and that psyker. Anything in their army. Like
your deny bubble is pretty much most of the board.
Yeah.
When you get playing. That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
I think so.
Okay, so 1 command point. Signs of the Forge. Use this stratagem before the battle. Select 1 Iron Hands model from your army that has the word Sergeant in their profile. That model can have one of the following special issue war gear relics, even though they are not a character. Mastercrafted weapon, digital weapons, Teeth of Mars, and Haywire bolts. All of these relics in your army includes must be different and be given to different models.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, the one which I keep coming back to is a Sergeant Aggressor, bumping up his shots to 2 damage.
Yes.
But even then, it'd only be 12 shots on the bolt storms. It's all right.
It's all right. It's nice if
because the frag launcher's different things, so you wouldn't get that. But
if you're more of a narrative player and you want to give some of your
it's strong.
Yeah,
it's strong.
You give yourself some really good buffs there to unit sergeant. So I like it.
Well, can they take the 2+ save one?
2+ save one. Artificer armor.
Yeah, can they take that?
No.
No, I was going to say to get to add a janky 2+ save in case you needed it.
They're doing 30k. Every sergeant has one of those. Anyway, so next one. 1 CP. Reject the flesh. Embrace the machine. Use this stratagem in any phase when an Iron Hands infantry unit in your army is chosen as the target for an attack. Until the end of that phase, when a model in that unit would lose a wound, roll a d6, adding 1 to the result if that model has all the flesh is weakness warlord trait. On a 5+, the wound is not lost.
Yeah. So 5 up, feel no pain. 4 up if you use your warlord with the specific trait. That's awesome.
1 command point. That's really good.
I tell you what's really good about that. We go back to our big aggressor squad.
Yep.
Transhuman physiology.
Yes.
Okay. If you obviously you're not going to do this every time in a shot, but then you can only be wounded on a 4+.
Yep.
And then you've got your feel no pain on top of that, and you've got your 5 up invulnerable save. You see where this army's going at.
Yeah, it's
but you'll just be able to do that as a reactive thing. I mean, that gives you some nice psychic defense on top of everything else. Just having something to do with, you can deny smite essentially. Well, you can mitigate a lot of smite damage.
No, that's really good actually.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about that one. Okay, so next one, 2 CP. Engine Purge. Use this stratagem at the start of your movement phase if the Devastator Doctrine is active, which it probably will be, until the start of your next battle round when resolving an attack made with a heavy weapon or grenade weapon by an Iron Hands model from your army. On an unmodified roll of a 6, add an additional 1 to the armor penetration characteristic of that weapon for that attack. You can only use this stratagem once per battle.
Yeah, it's 2 CP. It's okay. Rending 6s.
Yeah, it's the whole army gets it.
Yeah, that's why it's 2 CP. It's the whole army, but
which is quite nice. If there's one unit that you really want to take down, and it's heavy, I'd probably pop that.
Yeah,
just to give you that buff. If you've got something you are focused firing on.
Do you know what the trouble is? On that page, that stratagem, it just seems a bit meh compared to everything else on there.
I think if you took it out of this codex,
yeah, it'd be like, wow, this is amazing.
But I think that's quite a good one, especially when you're focusing firing on something you really want to take down.
Yeah.
Next one, 1 command point, the Gorgon's Rage. Use this stratagem in the fight phase when an Iron Hands unit from your army is chosen to fight with. Until the end of that phase, when resolving an attack made with this weapon, with a melee weapon by model in that unit, add 1 to the hit roll. In addition, until the end of that phase, when resolving an attack made with a melee weapon by a model that is going against an Emperor's Children unit, add 1 to that wound roll.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just +1 to hit in combat for a command point.
Which brings us back to our favourite unit again.
The aggressors.
The aggressors. normally hitting on 4s, now hitting on 3s.
Yeah. With 25 powerful attacks for that unit at 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll take that one. Okay, so the next one command point. We've got the Cogitated Martyrdom. I wonder what this is about, Andy.
Oh, just.
So we had the Ultramarines pretending to be different characters.
Yeah.
Now the Iron Hands do it too. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select one Iron Hands infantry unit from your army. Until the end of that phase, when a friendly Iron Hands character model within 3 inches of that unit would lose any wounds as a result of an attack made against that model, that unit can attempt to intercept the attack.
So do you have to do this one proactively? At the start of the phase, is it?
At the start of the shooting phase. Yeah.
It's 1 CP?
1 CP.
It's pretty damn good. I mean,
Yeah, I haven't even finished yet.
oh God.
Let me continue.
Yeah.
Roll a d6, and on a 2+, that model does not lose the wound, and that unit suffers 1 mortal wound for each of those wounds. You can only attempt this. Only 1 attempt can be made to intercept each attack.
Okay. So it's now per wound rather than per hit, per damage or whatever it was. So like it's slightly, let's call it better than the Tau Shield Drone one, which just palmed, no matter how many damage you did off, palmed it off.
Yeah.
The way I read it is that for each damage you do, it suffers a mortal wound.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as crazy.
No.
But be realistic, guys. By the time you actually get through, the Dreadnought's half damage because it's from Space Marines. It's got its Duty Eternal, and then you have the -1 damage from some Relic when you get onto, and then it has its 6-up Feel No Pain.
Yeah.
And then you get onto converting it to mortal wounds. And then the rules as written, I think you can now take Feel No Pain on the unit you're palming it off to on top of that.
Yeah, it's a mortal wound which they can take because it's an after damage save.
Yeah.
Surely.
So I think that needs cleaned up exactly.
Yeah.
You know, does the model get a save, then get its Feel No Pain, and then it palms it off, and then do they get a Feel No Pain again? Because that feels a bit odd.
It's a lot of steps involved there, isn't it, for that? There's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
But what a fantastic ability, really.
Yeah, but I think, you know, when you're looking at killing that Tech Marine, it's just not going to happen, is it?
No, not at all. The one balancing factor is you've got to declare at the start of the shooting phase.
Yes, and the other thing, when we're talking about, you know, the Feel No Pains, they've got a standard, a 6-up Feel No Pain, and you can only activate the 5-up Feel No Pain if you actually target that unit.
Yeah.
So the correct play would be to just not target that unit with anything, then
Yeah.
it can't activate it.
Yeah. You can't increase that with the palmed off one to 5+ after damage
You could,
if it's previously been targeted.
yeah, but if you never target that unit they're palming it off to, you're okay.
Yeah. But seeing as you have to nominate at the beginning of the term, you probably will factor that in. Cool.
Now that we've said it, that's D6 tactics.
Yeah, right there.
Woo!
That was a free one for you. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Machine Empathy. It's 1 command point. Use this stratagem in your movement phase after an Iron Hand Tech Marine model from your army uses their Blessing the Omnissiah ability. That model can use that ability again and can repair a model that has already been repaired that turn.
Yeah, so I think we've covered this one already. It's really good because the special character just does 3 wounds base.
Yeah.
Three repairs 3 each time.
6 wounds back on a vehicle for 1 command point.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, the next one command point. It's for the Paragon of Iron. Do you want to explain this one, Andy?
Yeah, so it's essentially it is the same as the one for the White Scars, the one for the Ultramarines. You get to stack an additional Warlord trait on top of your Warlord.
That's pretty good.
It's really good. The Iron Hand Warlord traits aren't so good.
Yeah.
Like for White Scars, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty phenomenal, that one, isn't it?
You got to make some crazy melee characters, but for Iron Hands, unfortunately, despite everything else in the book being really good, the Warlord traits are just a bit.
They're just good.
They're just good. They're not like crazy good. So it's good. You'll probably still find there's some cool little combos in there. Is it 1 CP?
1 CP?
Yeah. You're probably going to find some reason to take something.
Yeah.
Obviously, what's he called? The Allfather?
Allfather, yep.
Yeah, he can't take any because he's a unique character.
Yeah.
So I don't think, because he's got a specific Warlord trait, I don't think rules has written you could take another one on top of it.
So the Iron Father.
Yeah.
No, he can't.
Because if he's got one already, you couldn't take another one because he has to have a certain Warlord trait.
Yeah.
That's the way I read it anyway.
Absolutely. But well, let us know if you come up with some crazy combos that you can stack there to make it a good.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so next one command point: optimal repulsion doctrines. You know all about that, don't you?
Man, if these guys weren't tower enough already with their shield drain shenanigans, this is...
Okay, so use this stratagem in your opponent's charge phase. When an Iron Hands unit from your army fires Overwatch, until the end of that phase, when resolving an Overwatch attack made by a model in that unit, a hit roll of 5 or 6 scores a hit. If that unit has the Flash's weak chapter tactic, when resolving those Overwatch attacks made by that model in that unit, roll of a 4 to 6 scores a hit instead.
It's crazy. Because anyone who doesn't know, the Flesh is Weak is the Iron Hands chapter tactic. So if you take the generic chapter tactic for your Overwatch on 4s, at that point they're better than Tau.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 1 command point to be hitting on 4s.
That's bonkers. I mean, when you think about trying to charge like a Leviathan or a Fire Raptor...
Or aggressors.
Oh yeah, or we haven't mentioned aggressors in like 2 minutes now, have we?
Yeah, then that becomes pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
If somebody starts overwatching aggressors with that, that's not going to be your day.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that's so strong.
It really is.
I mean, they're doing it on 5s anyway, but you know, if you just really don't want someone to live, then 4s is good too.
Yeah, well, my favourite army's Dark Angels, and I used to play them a lot in the previous edition, and they had Overwatch and their regular ballistic skill. It's phenomenal. It's almost that good.
Yeah. Is that per phase or is it just for one attack?
It's to the phase.
So it's for the whole phase?
Until the end of that phase, when resolving an Overwatch attack made by that model.
Yes, that's crazy, because literally things are just going to keep dying in front of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that. Absolutely. Okay, so next one is 2 command points. I can't really say the first word, so I'm not going to bother, but it's Auto Savant. Use this stratagem at the end of the turn. After achieving the tactical objective, if an Iron Hands Warlord from your army is on the battlefield, do not discard the tactical objective. At the start of your next turn, it is once again active. You can only use this stratagem in the mission if you're playing using tactical objectives.
Because otherwise it would just be weird, wouldn't it? Yeah. It's like, haha, I'll break up my tactical.
I've got this card. And you can only use this once per battle. I think the ETC tournaments use...
I mean, it'd be really strong. If you had something like a really high scoring card, I mean, if you could get domination 2 turns in a row, or something bonkers like that, if you were just in a good position where you could score really high, and you knew you were going to score it again, that's crazy good.
Yeah, that's 2 command points. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Or you can just weird your opponent out if you don't play with them.
Yeah. Okay, so the final one, bequeathed by the Iron Council. Use the stratagem after nominating a model drawn from the Iron Hand successor chapter to be your Warlord. You can give him a relic of Medusa.
Yeah, which we're going to come on to now.
Yeah, let's go on to that.
Yeah.
So that's the end of stratagems. I think you'll agree, guys, there's some absolutely fantastic stratagems there. We've touched on what we think are really good ones. Let us know below what you think are some great combinations there.
It's just bonkers, particularly when you factor in some of the Space Marine ones. I think it just makes such a resilient army. But it gets better when we talk about the relics.
Well, it's not just resilience, it's firepower as well.
It is, yeah. Well, so let's go over the relics.
Okay, so relics of Medusa. Axe of Medusa. Okay, a model equipped with a power axe only. This relic replaces the power axe and has the following profile. Melee, +3 strength, -3, flat 3 damage.
Yeah, it's alright.
That's not bad. Flat 3 damage, I'll take that. In terms of...
It's not strength 9.
No, it's not strength 9, but for a unit that's getting a weapon...
It's strength 7, isn't it? So I mean, it's just...
It's pretty... It's reasonable, I think.
It's okay. Unless you've got something to push above the strength 8 threshold, I don't think these melee weapons do anything meaningful.
Especially when we look at some of the other things in here as well. If you like the flavour of it, it's a really good weapon if you want to use it. But I think there are better things available. Okay, so the Aegis Ferrum, Primaris models only, add 1 to the toughness characteristic of the model with this relic. When resolving an attack made against that model, reduce the damage inflicted by 1 to a minimum of 1.
Hey, that's really good. And that stacks with a lot of other stuff which we're about to talk about.
Absolutely, yeah. So most of your characters are going to be toughness 4, so stepping into toughness 5 has a huge mathematical difference.
So is it -1 to wound, or is it -1?
-1 is reducing the damage by 1.
But it's not -1 to wound?
No.
Okay, that must be another one in there.
Okay, the Mind Forge. Model equipped with a Force Sword, Force axe or force stave only. This relic replaces the force sword, force axe or force stave and has the following profile. ×2 strength, -3, d3 damage. It's okay.
Yeah, it's
It's okay. Betrayer's Bane, model equipped with a combi melter only. This relic replaces the combi melter and has the following profile. Has a bolt gun which is 24-inch, rapid fire 1, strength 4, 0 AP, 1 damage, and a melter gun which is 12 inches, assault 2, strength 8, -4, d6 damage, and pretty much has the melter damage. Rules over half range, roll 2d6 and pick the highest.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's okay. Should we skip the next one?
What was it, a pistol or something?
No, the Ironstone.
No one needs to know about that.
Okay,
this is going to be literally in every list you see.
the Ironstone. This is the one.
Remember this one.
Remember this one. When resolving attacks made by the Iron Hands vehicle within 3 inches of a friendly model with this relic, reduce the damage by 1 to a minimum of 1.
It's Serpent Shields.
Yeah?
It's Serpent Shields. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. I mean, this is why it's a nightmare. You get a Dreadnought, and remember, multiplication division always happens before addition and subtraction. So if I do 6 damage to a Dreadnought, it goes through. It then becomes 3 because I've done that Duty Eternal for 1 stupid command point.
Yep.
And then it becomes 2. So your 6 damage becomes 2. And then I get 6 up, feel no pain to that.
Yeah.
And if it's a character, I'll pass it off onto a stupid shield drone, scout or whatever I decided to put it onto.
Absolutely.
It's utter madness, that is.
And it's a bubble effect as well. So units within 4 inches gain that. So having a character model next to a couple.
Yeah, so I mean, the character obviously is, I say obviously, it's likely to be a Space Marine captain, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he can give the reroll all hits even.
Yeah.
So all hits for 2 command points. He's got that relic. He's just going to sit there with whatever things you want to kill. And then the All-Father, the
Forge Father.
Forge Father, okay, that makes sense. He's going to sit there as well and give everything a 5 up invulnerable save as well. I just think you're going to create this crazy castle of just ridiculousness that you just can't kill. And if you want to charge it, you got to survive Overwatch on 4s. And then the All-Father's going to run in and smack you and then run away again before you.
I said it's image of scurrying up.
Yeah, here we go.
And then scurrying away again. I'm sure he's much more heroic than that, but that's the image in my head anyway.
But you could do all sorts of things with him. You could pile him in 6 inches and then completely mess around someone else's pile in, or you could do all sorts of shenanigans with him if you manage to heroically intervene him.
That's really good. And with their doctrines as well, you can imagine them slowly advancing at the board as well and just holding centre of the table, really.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it essentially is some sort of core firepower of like 3 or 4 vehicles. So that's realistically all you're going to fit in there. Could be repulsors, could be anything. And then you're going to have a wall of aggressors in front of them.
Yeah.
That's going to be it. It's just going to be this ball of death which just shoots everything.
You're really going to struggle getting near them.
I mean, I may actually just throw in an apothecary. I've not used one in this edition just because it'll be funny.
No, that'd be worth it.
And you know, every time you shoot one of these bloody vehicles, every turn, 6 wounds back.
Yeah.
And you've got to get them down to the Dreadnoughts down to less than 4 wounds.
Yeah.
So the All-Father can just do 3 on each.
Yeah.
One, it can bump both back up to full ballistic skill.
Yeah. And you've essentially got to kill it in a turn.
Yeah, it's... Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad. Should we move on?
I think so.
Okay. The Tempered Helm. Whilst a model from your army with this relic is on the battlefield, you can roll a d6 for each command point you spend. With the stratagem on a 5, that command point is refunded. You can only use this, so you can only regenerate 1 command point per battle round with this relic.
Oh, it's nice. If you're not doing soup, more command points is always funny.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if you're going to run a 3rd character, whether it's a librarian or whatever else you're going to run, I think it's definitely worth taking.
Yeah, I think for the command point to get this in the first place, it is worth it because you probably will get that command point back.
Yeah.
And just seeing how good some of these stratagems are in this book, having some more sort of way of regenerating or getting them back is probably worth it.
Because I mean, I think the trouble is you're going to take the Hearth, was it the Ironstone? You're going to take the Ironstone and the Hearthfiber. Forge Father. Forge Father.
Forge Father.
There's only one bloody character in this book, and I can't pronounce it right.
Forge Father. Oh, crikey.
And he can't take relics because he's a unique character.
Yeah.
So you have to add a third character in. So it depends whether you're going to invest in that third character. But if you are, then that's probably the one to go for.
Yeah, I think so. And next one is the Gorgon's Chain. A model with this relic has a 4+ invulnerable save. When resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon against this model, subtract 1 from the rune roll.
Yeah.
That's one you confused with earlier.
Yeah, I got really excited when I thought I could take this on a Dreadnought, but apparently you can't.
They saw you coming, Andy. They saw you coming.
Well, you can have Blood Angels and all the other books.
Yeah. But I think this is the new wording. I think this will slowly creep into the rest of the book.
Yeah.
So, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I think so.
So I think clear winner is the Ironstone.
Ironstone and the Tempered Helm, if you want to take a second one, just because the command points regen is really useful in this book.
If you want to take a more melee character, then the Gorgon's Chain is probably a decent shout as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Or a Primaris one, the -1 to wound.
Yeah.
On top of the... Do you think the 2 -1s to wound would stack? The Ironstone and the Primaris one for -1 to wound?
Yeah, I think it would.
Sometimes abilities with the same things don't stack. Who knows?
Who knows? Cool. So that's the relics. What stands out to you, really?
Apart from the Ironstone.
Apart from the Ironstone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a look at the special issue war gear?
Yeah.
So similar to the other ones, this is available to successor chapters and some of the sergeants that we've already spoken about before. So we'll go through them now. Adamantium Mantle.
Same as before.
Same as before. Artificer Armour. Same as before. Mastercrafted Weapons. Same as before. Digital Weapons.
Same as before.
Same as before. Next one, we've got the Auto Medicae Bionics. This is a different one. So if a model with this relic loses any wounds, at the start of your turn, it regains D3 lost wounds.
Well, it's alright, isn't it? But again, the relic spot in Iron Hand is going to be toughly contested.
Yeah, there's some
I
great
think
traits
D3
there.
extra wounds on a sergeant is just not going to cut it.
No.
Even if you can take it on a sergeant.
No, not really, not for me. Not in comparison to the other ones. Which you can take by using that stratagem to if you are taking successor chapters, but
No.
I think it'd be crazy not to just trade Iron Hand, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, Teeth of Mars. Models equipped with a chainsword only. This relic replaces the chainsword and has the following profiles. Its user strength -2 and has 2 damage. Abilities: when the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. But when resolving attacks made with this weapon against a vehicle, the weapon has a strength characteristic of ×2 for that attack. So it's strength 8 and -2 flat 2 damage against
Yes.
vehicles. That's not too bad.
Hey.
I got that up.
And you don't pay any points because it's a chainsword.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one's Haywire Bolts. This is where they try to be Eldar. Okay, so when you were given with this relic, select 1 bolt weapon. You see Codex Space Marines for that. That model is equipped with. When the bearer shoots with that weapon, you can choose to fire a Haywire Bolt. If you do, you can only make 1 attack with that weapon, but resolve the attack. If it makes a hit against a vehicle unit and a modifying wound roll of 4 or 5 inflicts D3 damage. D3 mortal wounds on the target in addition to any other damage. And on a modified roll of a 6, it inflicts 3 mortal wounds to the target in addition to any other damage.
It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Any other ones in there?
The last one, Fortress Pattern Data Spike. Tech Marine only. When a model with this relic uses their Blessings on the Omnissiah ability, roll 2 dice for determining how many lost wounds are regained and discard one of the results.
If you weren't already getting 3 back, it'd be quite good. Yeah, that's good. I think that's really good.
I think that's pretty much it, isn't it?
I've got to do Warlord traits.
Oh, yes. Don't forget. Oh, there's still more pages. Let's get to the Warlord traits.
And the psychic powers. So
and
we're
the
not
psychic
actually
powers.
really done at all here. So
Okay. She's not been talking for quite a while.
I know.
Some great stuff. Okay, so Warlord traits. Adept of the Omnissiah. At the end of your movement phase, this Warlord can repair 1 friendly Iron Hand vehicle model within 1 inch of them. That model regains 1 lost wound. For each model can only be repaired once per turn. If this Warlord is a Tech Marine, each time they use their Blessing Omnissiah ability, the model repairing regains D3 plus 1 lost wounds instead of D3. It's okay.
It's okay. You're going to take the Forge Father. Forge Father, I got it right.
Forge Father.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, Will of Iron. This Warlord can attempt to resist one psychic power in your opponent's psychic phase in the same manner as a psychic making a Deny the Witch test. If it is already a librarian, they instead can attempt one extra Deny the Witch.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's not a run in and scurry off shenanigans, which I'm always going to take, so I just think it's funny.
And considering you've got that 4+ strat there to get rid of a Deny the Witch anyway.
Yeah,
So.
it just doesn't seem needed.
Um,
If you go against psychic heavy armies, maybe, but I just don't see it.
Nope. If you do, let us know how.
Yeah.
Okay, All Flesh is weakness. When a Warlord would lose a wound, roll a d6. On a 5, that wound is not lost.
Yeah, and that's the way you can bump it up to a 4-up feel no pain as well with the stratagem, isn't it?
So if you've got a guy that you don't want to die, that's quite a good way of doing it, I guess. Student of History, which is the one we talked about before, which is the consolidate 6 inches in any direction.
This is so dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, he can double fight as well, can't he?
Can he double fight?
Well, anything can in Space Marine.
Oh, of course, yeah, you're right, yeah.
You can literally do it twice to people.
Yeah, you can. you could jump from fights there as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could do all sorts of stupid stuff with this.
Yeah, that's gnarly. And actually, just for moving across the board as well, it's a great way of getting extra movement going.
Oh, you could just go anywhere, basically.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, Merciless Logic. When resolving an attack made by this Warlord, on an unmodified roll of a 6, you can make one additional attack against the same unit using the same weapon. This additional attack does not generate others. Exploding 6s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one I do like, though.
Target Protocols. At the start of your shooting phase, select one friendly Iron Hands unit within 6 of the Warlord. Once that phase, when resolving an attack made with ranged weapons by a model from that unit, you can reroll the hit roll. Once that phase, when resolving an attack made with that ranged weapon by a model from that unit, you can reroll one wound. And once that phase, when resolving an attack made with a ranged weapon by a model from that unit, you can reroll the damage roll.
So that's really weirdly worded. Is what I think it means you can reroll one hit, one wound, and one damage roll per turn.
Yeah, per turn.
Is it per turn? Per phase?
Per phase for a unit.
Yeah.
But it just means that different models within the unit can then essentially use that hit.
Yeah, I think that needs to just be clarified, but I think it just means that. Because an attack could mean like the whole weapon profile, but I think it just means one dice.
Yeah.
I don't know why they've worded it like that, because that's just weird.
Yeah.
Just say you can reroll a single hit, wound, and damage roll.
Yeah, for a unit.
Yeah, that's just weird. I don't know why they've done that, but yeah.
It's pretty handy though.
Yeah, they just take it. Maybe it's just to fill the rest of the page up. It'd just look weird if it finished up there, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I'm sure there's some reason. If you can explain why, then please do.
Yeah.
So out of those, really, I think the one that really stands out for us is the Student of History. That's a great one.
Yeah, at first it didn't seem that powerful, but now I'm thinking about it, it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, isn't it? Because it's not even when he charges, it's any time he consolidates, so game on.
Absolutely. Cool. Should we have a look at the
Oh, you're remembered about the psychic powers now, haven't you?
psychic powers? It's been a long day. Okay, so Technomancy Discipline.
Yeah, I'd say it's not as strong as White Scars. Like White Scars, you're like, ooh, there's some really standout ones in there. But this is, yeah, they've got a couple.
This is one I quite like. We'll come on to that.
Yeah.
Blessing of the Machine God. Blessing of the Machine God has a warp charge value of 5. If manifested, select one friendly Iron Hands vehicle model within 12 inches of this Psyker. You can only select a Titanic model if the result of the psychic test manifest is 8 or more. Until the start of your next psychic phase, when resolving attacks made by the model, add 1 to the hit roll.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So that's +1 to hit in combat as well as shooting then for the unit. So that's basically prescience, isn't it?
And it's until the next...
What's warp charge, is it?
7? So warp charge 5.
Warp charge 5?
Yeah.
7, I was like, oh, that seems fair.
No,
5?
It's 5 and it becomes an 8 if it's with the Titanic.
Okay, is it like a 12-inch range?
12-inch range, yeah.
Okay.
But again, though, because you're going to be in a quite tight bubble anyway, generally with this.
Aggressors.
Yeah.
It's mad, basically. It's really, really good, and because essentially I think that gives you a really favourable matchup versus flyers, like Eldar flyers.
Yep.
Because you've got +1 to hit from that, you've got +1 to hit from the Forge Father, and you've got +1 to hit from a Space Marine Chaplain as well.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, +3 to hit you can stack on a unit, or you can do it to a bunch of different units.
Yeah.
So I think that's really strong.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Next one, Obduration Mechanicum, has a warp charge value of 7. If manifest, select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to the Psycho. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, when resolving attacks made with ranged weapons by a model in that unit on an unmodified roll of a 1, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound after resolving that attack.
That is hilarious.
I love this one. What's it really good against?
Aggressors! So if I shoot my 110 shots against you,
Yeah.
I'm dead, basically.
Yeah.
It's just mutually assured destruction when aggressors go against each
That'd be
other.
quite an interesting game to play, actually. My Psychic doing it to you, and you do it to me, and just
Just all explode in the middle. It's pretty much like the Dark Angels at that point. Just auto-exploding themselves.
things like looters and stuff, things that would pop out lots of
yeah,
shots.
you
This
mentioned
is great.
looters, that's really good. What's the range on it?
18?
Ooh, it's going to be a little bit tough getting that off. But
Yeah. Yeah, it would be.
what's the range of an aggressor? 18.
Yeah. We,
It's like it's made for killing aggressors.
you can give this to the Phobos guys as well, can't you? Who can infiltrate and get up the board.
Yes, you can.
So if you wanted to get it in range and get up, because you can hide this guy and just get just inside a little line of sight when you need to, and cast this on guys to really mess them
Because the
up.
grot shields won't work for the looters because it's not an attack which originated from further away.
No.
Yeah, no, that'd be a right pain in the ass actually
Yeah, so-
for them.
Phobos librarian going up there, doing his
Doing his little.
yeah. That's I quite like that.
Yeah, that's really something.
Fury of Medusa has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy model within 18 inches and visible to the Psycho. Draw the shortest possible imaginary straight line, 1 millimeter wide between this Psycho's base and the model's base. Roll 1d6 for the selected model unit and each other enemy unit that passes across this line, adding 2 to the result if the unit being rolled for is a vehicle. On a 4 to 5, the unit being rolled for suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 6+, the unit suffers. The unit being rolled for suffers D3 mortal wounds.
It's utter garbage as well.
Yeah.
It's so complicated. By the time you explain that to someone, I've got this 1 millimeter line, and
It's essentially a beam of immortal wounds. There isn't it between 2 points.
yeah.
It's okay. If you've got things perfectly lined up, it's going to
What's
be
his
good.
warp charge?
6.
It's just
Yeah.
why do it?
Especially when you've got those first 2, which are pretty gnarly actually for a 7 and a 5 respectively. That's
Yeah.
Cool. So next one, Steel Armor has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one friendly Iron Hands unit within 12 of the Psycho. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, when resolving an attack made against that unit, add 1 to the saving throw. Invulnerable saves not affected.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, on a vehicle.
Yeah, on a vehicle, on aggressors.
Yeah, aggressors. I mean,
works out really
just
well.
any sort of because it's a whole unit as
Yeah.
well. It's I think that's really strong.
Yeah, I like that one. Reforge. Reforge has a warp charge value of 5. If manifested, select one friendly Iron Hands vehicle model within 3 and visible to this Psycho. That model regains D3 lost wounds.
I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's not as good as the other ones,
No,
apart from the beam.
yeah, it's just additional ways to get
Yeah,
wounds back for vehicle stuff, but there's other more reliable things. By the time you're having to roll for this in
Yeah.
the first place, when actually you're taking the blessing on the side, it's probably much more reliable because you're not having to roll for it.
yeah, just
Yeah.
6 wounds back.
You're getting the distance, but it's still within 3. So no, no,
Nah.
not at all. Okay, machine flensing. It's a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy vehicle unit that is within 18 inches and visible the psyker. Notice that there's lots of visible now. Never used to be a thing so much. That unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. You can select one other enemy unit that is within 6 inches and visible to that vehicle unit when the power is manifested. Roll 1d6 for each mortal wound that that vehicle unit suffered, and for each 3+, the other selected unit suffers 1 mortal wound.
Not particularly good, is it?
Oh, it's situationally, you might get some mortal wounds off,
No.
but it's compared to the other ones, it's not really.
And going back to your other point, I think the ones which need to be visible tend to be the offensive powers.
Yeah.
And the buffs don't actually tend to need line of sight. That tends to be how most psychic trees work.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's the way I've seen it most of the time.
Yep.
Right, so that is it. So the way I see Iron Hands working, I think probably the builds are going to be around like 3 or 4 big vehicles, because you don't have a big bubble around that Ironstone.
No.
So you're going to get 4 vehicles around there realistically, aren't you? Because you've got a 6-inch plus 7-inch bubble realistically, haven't you?
Yeah, I think dreadnoughts are probably going to feature quite heavily because the ability to half the damage.
Yeah, so that may in itself be a little bit of a trap if you run pure dreadnoughts, because there is no way in this book to fall back and shoot.
This is true.
So either you have to really devote a lot to defense, like you've got to have a big aggressor screen or something like that there to keep your gun line firing, because like a cheeky little Eversaw is going to get in there and ruin your day.
Yeah.
Or your opponent's Forge Father running across the board.
Yeah, this is where I guess having some sort of repulsor type unit where you have that -2 to charge really assists.
Yeah, so I think if you had 3 repulsors there, -2 to charge, they've got fly, they can't be tied up. You're never going to kill them anyway.
No.
Maybe 1 dreadnought's probably better, because the reason you're taking the dreadnought is for the Duty Eternal strat, aren't you, for the half damage. But if you've got more than that, your opponent's probably going to play you off, shoot 1, and then immediately shoot the next one. A bit like the rotate iron shields.
Yeah.
So I think maybe 1 big dreadnought like a Leviathan dreadnought's probably the way forwards, and then some other stuff perhaps which can't get tied down.
Yeah, I think repulsors fill that niche quite nicely, especially with Executioner now as well. That's a really nice tank.
I'm going to try it with Fire Raptors. I know they're not competitive anymore, but literally any vehicle, any big vehicle, as soon as you strap on a 5-up and vulnerable save and a -1 to damage, and they get a 6-up feel no pain, it's brilliant. And if you're a dreadnought, then you can palm off wounds onto infantry as well. So I think that's super, super strong. And on the offensive side, you can get +3 to hit.
That's really good.
And now with the new Space Marines, you can get the new Chapter Master, which is ridiculously strong because it's reroll all hits. So the offensive firepower of these vehicles, even if you take the overcosted Fire Raptor now, I mean, you're giving it all of that. You're like, that's not half bad. I mean, there's definitely better options out there than that, but.
Yeah, but with that increase in fire output and survivability, that's a significant difference.
Yeah,
it makes
absolutely
it
massive. Yeah. And they can deny psychic powers on a 4+, everything. So I just like this book here. This book is, in my opinion, the strongest codex they've released yet, because it plays in every phase. They're really good in combat because they get +1 to hit.
Yep.
Hell, they can get +2 with that psychic power.
Yep.
They're great at denying powers. They've got a really good shooting game. They're incredibly durable. And if you try and charge them,
they're going to shoot you.
They're going to shoot you a lot. They're going to palm off wounds onto chaff. And if you do get in there and start punching them with thunder hammers, I mean, your flat 3 damage thunder hammer is going to do 1 damage.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to repair themselves next turn anyway.
I think the one negative of this army is going to be that it's going to be small. I think when you start putting aggressors and you start putting bigger vehicles in there, you're not going to have a lot of bodies.
Yeah, that's why I said at the start, perhaps the way to play this one is maybe as an ally to maybe another thing like Raven Guard, something which can push forwards. We're going to get to them in our next video.
Yes.
Or White Scars, or it depends what you want to go for. I may even just play with my Death Watch just as a super resilient core to the army. Because like Wes says, I think otherwise you'll end up just bobbling at the back of the board because those buffs, because they're all quite short range, you're never going to get as much use out of them.
Yeah, you start going down the tower route of having to make a solid castle. The one benefit is they are a bit more resilient, so you can put these in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I mean, but if you just think about that aggressive block, even if you don't have the fire from vulnerable save for the Forge Father, you've still got transhuman physiology for only wounding on 4s, and then you get 5 up, feel no pain.
Yeah.
And so you can really make these units incredibly durable in this book.
Absolutely.
So that's our review, guys. Have you got anything else you want to pitch in just before the end?
No, I think we've covered most all there. It's, if you've got anything that you want to add to us and seeing what you've picked out from the Codex, then please let us know below.
Yeah. Right. Take care, guys, and we should have the Raven Guard review up soon. You and Simon are doing that one, aren't you?
Absolutely, we are tomorrow.
Yeah. And I'm off to the London GT, so if anyone's there, say hi to me.
Yeah.
Right. Take care, guys.